This is Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on Viking athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Enjoy the action and excitement of NCAA Division II athletics at Augustana.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Augustana Sportscene. I'm Bill Gross, Director of Athletics at Augustana College. On this week's show, we'll feature some exciting action as we fire up our Augustana Sports Update. We'll also talk Augie men's basketball with Coach Tom Billiter and women's basketball with Coach Dave Krauth. A little later in the program, in our Augustana Sports Focus, we'll catch up with Vikings head men's and women's track and cross country coach Tracy Hellman. And we'll take a look at what's ahead on the Augustana Sports calendar for this week. It's going to be a fun one, so let's get the action rolling. Here comes Augie Sports Update for this week.
Augustana Sports Update is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Last weekend, Coach Tom Billiter's Augustana men's basketball team pushed their record to 14-5 overall and 11-4 in the NSIC as they picked up a pair of huge road victories at Concordia St. Paul and St. Cloud State. With the wins, the Vikings have now won 8 straight NSIC games. In the 83-69 victory at Concordia, Cameron McCaffrey led the way with 29 points, with Cody Schilling scoring 25. Augustana led 40-34 at halftime and pulled away in the second half to earn the win. Leif Nomeland hauled down 6 rebounds for the Vikings. Cody Schilling also had 6 rebounds and 3 assists, with Cameron McCaffrey also dishing out 3 assists. Then on Saturday, Augustana rallied from a 13-point second-half deficit to defeat St. Cloud State 89-87. Derek DeZeaus put back at the buzzer gave the Vikings the victory. Derek had his finest game ever for Augustana as he scored 21 points and grabbed 9 rebounds. Leif Nomeland notched 20 points and also snared 9 boards. Cody Schilling added 16 points and passed out 6 assists. Freshman Trevor Haas tacked on 11 points. The Vikings out-rebounded the Huskies 35-30 and had 19 assists with just 9 turnovers. In women's basketball, Coach Dave Krauth's team split a pair of road games. The Vikings fell to Concordia St. Paul 76-60 before coming back to top St. Cloud State 81-74. In the Concordia game, the Vikings fell behind 38-28 at halftime and could not rally back in the second half. Double-figure scorers for Augustana ladies were Lydia Nelson with 15 points, Megan Doyle with 14, and Alex Feeney with 10. Doyle also claimed 11 rebounds. Then on Saturday, the Vikings bounced back with a victory at St. Cloud State. Augustana, now 16-6 overall and 9-6 in the NSIC, led 39-34 at halftime on their way to the win. Molly Hayes had a career-high 28 points, with Megan Doyle recording a triple-double with 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists. Alex Feeney had a double-double as she scored 11 points and grabbed 11 rebounds. Lydia Nelson added 12 points in the big win. In wrestling, Coach Jason Reitmeyer's team picked up a pair of large home victories as they beat number 3 ranked St. Cloud State 18-13 and number 7 ranked Minnesota State 21-10 before a charged up pack of Augustana fans at the Elman Center. Winners of both matches were Jay Shear at 141 pounds, Nate Herda at 149, and Ty Copsey at 197. The Vikings, most recently ranked number 2, could claim the number 1 ranking in the next NCAA Division II poll. And in indoor track, Coach Tracy Hellman's men's and women's teams competed in the 17-team Minnesota State Mankato Open. Adu Amat won the men's 800-meter run, while Diego Aquendo finished first in the 60-meter dash. 2 other Viking performers broke school records at the meet. Noelle Bentley shattered the mark in the weight throw with a toss of 54 feet, 10 1/4 inches. Blake Ridgway also set a school record with 4,827 points in the men's heptathlon. That's our sports update for this week. When we come back, we'll talk Augustana men's basketball with Coach Tom Billiter. Stay with us.
Augustana Sportscene is brought to you by Sanford Health, improving the human condition, by Schoenemann's, your trusted building center since 1888, and by Mid-Continent Communications, part of your community.
A message from the Better Bundle Bureau. Bundle blunders. They're on the rise as more people get blunderized by the supposed savings. However, in head-to-head tests, most bundles burst, leaving customers shortchanged and under-entertained. But not the $79 Theater DVR Suite and Midconet Preferred Broadband Bundle. Lightning-fast Midconet Broadband and digital cable chock full of freebies. Get the $79 Theater DVR Suite and Midconet Preferred Broadband Bundle and avoid the bundle blunder.
At Schoenemann's, our staff's expertise goes far beyond hardware. In fact, we know just how important your home is to you and are committed to making every project a success. So, whether you're just adding some color to your life or adding on for your growing family, Schoenemann's can help. Sure, we know you can pick up nails just about anywhere, but when it's expert advice you need, you'll find it only at Schoenemann's.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
We call it the pioneer spirit, always pushing a little farther, always seeking something better. Today's pioneers still have it. We're creating something new, something that will transform lives worldwide, that will redefine healthcare. We're doing it for you, with you. The pioneer spirit still lives, right here, the new Sanford Health.
The Augustana Men's Basketball Report is brought to you by Sanford Health.
Joining me now is Augustana men's basketball coach Tom Billiter. Well, Tom, the Vikings just keep on rolling with 8 straight victories now after going on the road last weekend and defeating Concordia St. Paul and St. Cloud State. Great weekend of victories,
well,
Coach.
You know, we were 3-4 after St. Cloud beat us here last January in 76-74, and you're 3-4. Knowing that you have 5 games on the road, all good places, and you know, it's just really a testament to my assistant coaches and to our players about how well they regrouped and rallied, and you know, they just weren't gonna. We just needed to play each game at a time and continue to improve. And the thing I like, Bill, is we're better than we were then. We're getting better, you know, and we're getting used to some things, and we're playing some guys that are really accepting the roles. And it's just been a better effort. Now we could lose 8 in a row too, the way this league is. You know, I mean, nothing's for sure, but I think our team continues to improve. We've healed, you know, which helps us tremendously, minus Nate Truex, and you know, it's been a nice run.
Yeah, it really has. Congratulations to you and the Vikings. Well, let's start out with Friday night at Concordia St. Paul, a place that we struggled last year, but we came back this year and took care of business.
We were down 6 in about 3 minutes left in the half and ended up going up 6. And then we won by 14. So that was about a 20-point swing in the last 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes on the road, and really just played well. And they are really athletic, and they're a good basketball team, and they put everybody fresh on Cam and Cody, and they just couldn't stop them. I mean, Cam and Cody were both in a zone. We've always said, when those two ever show up on the same night, the way they did that night, it will be very hard for anybody to beat us. Right. And that night they both showed up. And you know, our post still did a nice job underneath because we limited Bartz and Vanderveer to 7 total shots. Played some zone and did some different things to do that, but thought our bigs did a great job defensively that night. And it was a good win. I mean, anytime you go on the road, it's not been friendly to us. Like you said, won there once in the last 4 or 5 years and come away with a 14-point win and controlled the game the whole second half. I mean, it was almost 10 the entire game and felt good about it.
Well, Cody and Cam combined for 54 points in the victory, and then the Vikings went to St. Cloud State, a team that we have had a long-time rivalry with, and they edged us close here. Tom, we came out on top. It was a great college basketball game.
They're really good. You know, Witt's a great player, and Bernstetter, I said it on the radio, and I think Bernstetter, Derek DeZay are the 2 most improved players in the league. I really do. Puts, you can't leave him. He just shoots the heck out. I mean, they're a good basketball team, and you know, they have some injuries. They've got a couple guys out. We're very similar. We're having very similar seasons, and I thought, you know, we got up early, then they took control, then we're down quite a bit. In the second half, we were down 13 with about 12 minutes to go, and before we made up, we cut it to 6 in under a minute. And we just got on a roll and hit a couple threes, and you know, Leif Nolan 5 for 7 from 3. Trevor Haas came off the bench and did a nice job for us. The bench really helped us this game. Cam was 1 for 11, yet he had 4 assists, no turnovers. But and even Cody was 16 points. You know, he still was 6 for 11 from the field, and he was tired. They were tired. You know, they've been carrying us for a while, so it was really nice to see the bench and the bigs come in and do a good job.
Well, it was a super win, and 54 points for Cody and Cam against Concordia. Only 21 at St. Cloud, and we beat a very, very good team. Boy, Leif Nolan and Derek DeZay tremendous games.
Great job. That was what we wanted to do, and get inside on them, and we thought we could. But they were so physical. They really played us physically, and they played us well. But we're okay with that. We like that. You know, if the refs will let both, which the refs did a great job, they let us both play that way, we're fine with it. You know, we like that. So it was a good game. It was a great college basketball game. And at the end, you know, do you take a timeout or not? You know, you're tied. Worst thing that can happen is there's a tie. You take a timeout, they pick off the inbounds pass, and you know, so we ran it down. Cody got a tough look. They just garbled him up, and he really had no look, and he missed it so bad that it turned into a great assist, is the way I told him first thing in the locker room. I said, Cody, see, when you pass the ball, good things happen. So great play by Derek, and it was all legit. Derek flew to the glass. We said, when this thing goes up, just fly, don't worry about anything, just go attack the glass. That's what he did, and worked out this time. Very fortunate.
Well, super win, Tom. Well, the Vikings now have a stretch here of a lot of home games. 5 of our last 7 are at home. Starts out this weekend, and we play the league leader, Minnesota State Mankato, on Friday night. Talk about that one.
I mean, that'd be a great game. I wish it was a one-game difference. You know, Matt's done I think it's as good a job as Matt's done, he and his staff. And you know, they lost a couple kids early that were great players, but I think ever since that happened, they just seem to be a better team, and they're all good. They're all good. He doesn't have a bad player ever on the floor, and so they all have their specialty. They're really playing well. They know their roles, and it's going to be a good team. And then you have to play Southwest State, who I think they're the best team with their record in the country. They have twice lost to, you know, Winona State, and had them beat last night. In fact, we listened to the whole second half in double overtimes. It was right in our area of listening the whole way home, and I really felt bad for Coach Bigler because just those things happen, you know, and he had that game won. So what a weekend. I hope the weather cooperates. We've got a lot going on for a lot of different things, and it should just be a fantastic weekend of basketball.
Well, fans, the Vikings play Minnesota State Mankato, 8 o'clock Friday. They play Southwest Minnesota State, 6 o'clock Saturday, here at the Elman Center. Come on over. It's going to be a great weekend of basketball games. Good luck to you, Tom.
Thanks, Bill.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report with Coach Dave Krauth is next.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Blue one.
Recessed lighting, it's absolutely. Blue one. Blue one. Blue one. Blue one.
The Rutan, the only minivan with the soul of a Volkswagen.
Can we do it again? Yeah.
Sure.
We call it the pioneer spirit. Always pushing a little farther. Always seeking something better. Today's pioneers still have it. We're creating something new. Something that will transform lives worldwide, that will redefine healthcare. We're doing it for you, with you. The pioneer spirit still lives, right here, in the new Sanford Health.
They're not that easy to come by. The teachers who engage us. The truly gifted ones. The ones whose words stay with us for days or even years. The odds are you'll only know a few of them. Unless you go to Augustana. Then your chances are greatly improved. Augustana.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report is brought to you by Mid-Continent Communications.
With me now is Augustana women's basketball coach Dave Krauth. Well, Dave, road trip last weekend up to Concordia St. Paul and St. Cloud State. Let's start out with a Concordia game, a team that's really, really playing well right now, and they ended up with a win against the Vikings.
Yeah, they really smothered us and are playing so well right now that you know, our kids were a little intimidated by both them and the situation. And even though we had opportunities maybe to make little runs and make it quite interesting, it just didn't seem like. We got 10 shots blocked. We just can't guard their off the charts quickness. Right. And so it was a tough matchup for us, and one that, like I said, we tried to hang around, but there was no question as to who the better team was that night.
We'll talk a little about Concordia, what makes them so good. They've got a number of transfers. You mentioned the athleticism. Your thoughts on them?
Well, you know, they were coming in the year, would have been one of the top picks in the league, and then kind of got off to a slow start with a tough schedule, and playing a couple freshmen, and that sometimes is just you know, trying to put the pieces together, but now they've won 8 in a row and are shooting the ball in, and their athleticism is just above. You don't find that at Division II, and you know, probably not many in Division I with that kind of athleticism. And you combine that with the way they're playing, and them outscoring Wayne by 35 in the second half Saturday night, you know, would probably be an indication.
Yeah, and Dave and I were talking before we came on the air here. For fans out there, the Northern Sun this year is in a transition into a postseason tournament that will eventually end up at the Pavilion at the University of Minnesota in 2 years, a neutral floor. But this year couldn't get the Pavilion, so the NSIC finals are at Concordia St. Paul, and that's going to be real interesting with the way Concordia's playing.
And with that playing as hot as they are, you know, that could be a huge factor.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. That tournament comes up there in March. Well then, Dave, the team bounced back. Probably one of your better performances of the year. Big win at St. Cloud State.
Yeah, you know, they keep surprising me like this, because we did get smothered, like I said, against Concordia, and yet bounced back with a heck of an effort. We only played 7 kids, and that old, you know, you got to have depth with a double, you know, and we had kids that were gasping, I think, at times out there, but we nursed them through it, and just played one of our better games, and St. Cloud was right there. They just matched us basket for basket. Last 10 minutes of the game, I think we outplayed them, and that was key.
Yeah, and there were some great performances. Talk about, it's kind of the same theme here, but Molly and Megan had some great, and Alex Feeney, great games.
Yeah, Molly Hayes had her career high at 28. Megan Doyle had a triple-double with points and rebounds and assists, and just had a heck of a game. And then Alex Feeney, a double-double scoring and rebounding. So we, you know, had our usual suspects. Lydia Nelson chipped in with 12, started for Christy Board, and so we got through an important game for us.
Well, it was a big win. The Vikings' 16th of the season against 6 losses, and now 5 of the last 7 for the Augie ladies are at home. It starts out this weekend, Dave. Mankato on Friday night at the Elman Center, and then at 4 o'clock Saturday, Southwest Minnesota State.
You know, Mankato is playing very well. They did lose an overtime game to Winona this past weekend that they let get away, I think, the way the score looked. But throwing some combination defenses in a variety of things. My ex-player Pam Gold over there I got them playing well, and then we'll follow up with Southwest. And Southwest is they'll go beat people on the road, and then they'll lose badly at home. You just don't know what you're going to get there, but they have plenty of talent.
Yeah, well, at this stage now, as we turn the calendar into February, what really becomes important is getting in the top 4 in the NSIC, Dave. It's a dogfight.
Oh yeah. We're going to really have our work cut out for us to get a spot there now with Wayne. Kind of still, it's going to be the team that's probably going to win the regular season, but Concordia, the way they're playing, be very difficult to think they're not going to be up there. And then Northern and Winona have a leg up on us both now record-wise, and in at least Winona's case, and maybe Northern's, the schedule's a little friendlier. We do play Northern again.
Yeah, well, the key to that is if you end up in the top 4, you get a home floor in the first round of the playoffs, but we'll just see how that plays out. Dave, a lot of ball to go here. Good luck to you and your team.
Thanks, Bill.
Up next, Augie Sports Focus. Stay with us.
We call it the pioneer spirit. Always pushing a little farther. Always seeking something better. Today's pioneers still have it. We're creating something new. Something that will transform lives worldwide, that will redefine healthcare. We're doing it for you, with you. The pioneer spirit still lives, right here, in the new Sanford Health.
A message from the Better Bundle Bureau. Mid-Continent Communications has the best bundle to beat boredom without busting the budget. With its $99 a month Theater DVR trio, people are downright giddy, saving over $500 a year and still being thoroughly entertained. Free HD, on-demand, the fastest broadband speeds known to man, and unlimited local and long-distance calling, all wrapped up in a nice little $99 bundle. The Theater DVR trio. It's the best bundle on earth.
At Schoenemann's, our staff's expertise goes far beyond hardware. In fact, we know just how important your home is to you and are committed to making every project a success. So, whether you're just adding some color to your life or adding on for your growing family, Schoenemann's can help. Sure, we know you can pick up nails just about anywhere, But when it's expert advice you need, you'll find it only at Schoenemann's.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
Augustana Sports Focus is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Joining me now is Augustana Vikings head cross-country and track coach Tracy Hellman. Well, Tracy, great to have you back on the show. We've got a lot to talk about, and to begin with, we're going to back up here. Even though it's February, we had a tremendous fall season in men's and women's cross-country. Give us the highlights, Tracy.
Well, we had a lot of highlights, and so I guess I'll start backwards. At the National, we finished 6th in the men and 7th in the women, 2 top 10 finishes in both programs, so that was very exciting there. And we won both the conference championships, men and women. We had the individual champion in men and women, and Tom Carbo and Runa Falch, and so heck, we'll take another year like that year. Yeah, it was a phenomenal year for the Vikings, and Tracy was also named Coach of the Year in the ladies or the guys. I can't remember which one. In the men.
In the men. So he just keeps rolling up those Coach of the Year honors. How about the team as far as who's coming back? We have a strong team again.
Yeah, we do. We don't lose many kids. We lose Matt Braithwaite and Daniel Black, and we return all the women. So I mean, it was we have a good nucleus coming back. And one thing I want to highlight about the men: Matt Braithwaite received the NCAA Elite 88 award, which is a high honor, academic and athletic combined. So that was a neat thing for him.
Yeah, he's the first Augustana athlete to receive that, which was really a great honor for Matt, very deserving. Well, Tracy, we're into the winter here. We're into the indoor track season. The Vikings have had 3 meets so far. Talk about each of the meets and how we're doing.
Yeah, it's gone really well so far. We've had a lot of strong performances, and with track and all sports, you just want to peak at the right time. So we're getting better each week. And so as of this point, we have a number of national qualifiers. And I'll start with the women. We have 2 high jump girls, Katie Goosey and Andrea Whitney, both freshmen that have qualified in the high jump. And so they're doing very well. And then for the men, we have Adu Amat qualified in the 800, Diego Oquendo qualified in the 60 hurdles. And so we've had some real strong performances so far.
Yeah, and we're filming this on Sunday. Yesterday over at the MSU Open, some school records broken.
Yeah, we had school records broken in the pentathlon. We had a school record broken in the weight throw, and that's Noelle Bentley qualified also. I forgot to mention her in the weight throw. So it's gone well so far.
Yeah, off to a great start here in the indoor season. We keep on going with some more meets, and then it culminates with the NSIC, which is when and where?
It's the last weekend in February in Bemidji, and we have goals of winning both. We won the women last year, and we were 3rd in the men, so we'll try to do a sweep possibly.
And then 2 weeks from after that, it's on to the Nationals, which are in
Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is the 2nd time it's been there, and they have a good site to host, and so we're hoping we can have a number of kids go there.
Yeah, and we already do, and it'll be nice to get in that warm weather, that's for sure. And student athletes will love that. Well, then let's go on, excuse me, into the spring season, Tracy. You get really no break, and you move right out of the indoor season into outdoors. So talk about the outdoor season.
Yeah, and that's normally how track works. The indoor and outdoor is kind of combined in a sense. And so we'll open up with some kids going out to Stanford. We'll take some of our top kids out to a meet out there to get some opportunities. And then our whole meet is April 2nd, which is the Vance Butler Memorial Meet, and we're looking to be a really good meet. Right now we have, I believe, 15 or 16 schools coming, so it's becoming a really strong meet in this area, so that's pretty neat. And then we go to the Sioux City Relays, the annual Drake Relays, which we won 2 Drake titles last year, so we're hopeful we can do something like that again. And then the conference this year is hosted by Northern State up in Aberdeen, and that's the 2nd week in May. So we'll just see what happens this year in outdoor too.
Yeah, and the Howard Wood relays are out at Howard Wood. Also, the Vance Butlers at Howard Wood. And the national meet is when and where?
This year it's out in California, Cal State Stanislaus, and so never complain to go out there for track because the weather normally is pretty good, and that's the last weekend in May. So.
Okay, we're coming up on the winter signing date here, and Tracy, at this time, as we're filming this, can't comment on recruits, but he can comment on numbers. We've got a strong number of student athletes coming in that'll join the programs.
Yeah, we sent out a number of tenders, probably the most we've ever sent out this time of year, we have 5 men and 6 women already committed, and hopefully we'll continue to get more.
Yeah, and how many athletes in the programs, Tracy, here at Augustana?
Yeah, this is actually, I believe, the largest we've been in track, and we have around 32, 34 women, and we have about 25 to 29 men, and so combined about 65 athletes, and so it's good to have that many kids because it helps our program.
Yeah, and they're great kids, and obviously Tracy and Coach Varenkamp and their staff have done a phenomenal job. Great program here. Tracy, good luck to you and your teams.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
The Augustana Sports Calendar is next. We'll be right back.
With every click of a LifeTouch camera, a school memory is captured. Education benefits, and children are safer. LifeTouch School Portraits. Great things come from great pictures.
We've all known them. The teachers who inspire, the ones who can make concepts spring to life and words leap off the page, the ones who could light up a classroom. We've all known teachers like that. The amazing thing is that so many of them teach at Augustana.
We call it the pioneer spirit. Always pushing a little farther. Always seeking something better. Today's pioneers still have it. We're creating something new. Something that will transform lives worldwide, that will redefine healthcare. We're doing it for you, with you. The pioneer spirit still lives, right here, the new Sanford Health.
The Augustana Sports Calendar is brought to you by Sanford Health.
Let's take a look at the Augustana Sports Calendar for this week. Friday, February 4th, basketball. Big home doubleheader with Minnesota State Mankato. The women tip off at 6, followed by the men at 8. Saturday, February 5th, the basketball teams are back home again against Southwest Minnesota State. The women's game begins at 4, followed by the men at 6. And indoor track is at the Minnesota Mankato Invitational. Monday, February 7th, it's the Augustana Coaches Show on ESPN 99.1 at 5 o'clock. And next Wednesday and Thursday, February 9th and 10th, we'll have Augustana Sportscene here again on this channel at this same time. And remember, for radio coverage of Augustana basketball, you can hear the band on KIKN, FM 100.5, and worldwide on the web at KIKN.com. And the Augustana ladies can be heard on KXRB AM 1000 and worldwide on the web at KXRB.com. And for complete information on Augustana athletics, go to our website, goaugie.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me again next time for another edition of Augustana Sportscene. Have a great week, everybody.
You've been watching Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on NCAA Division II athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Learn more about Augustana College in Sioux Falls at augie.edu.